Welcome back to another video. My name is Megan. I feel like we all know at least one person who seems to have the best luck in the world. Good things are always happening to them. Bad things never happen to them. And you might watch this person and think, what the heck? She's so lucky. How does she do it? I've certainly done this before. In this video, we're talking all about things you can do, say, think, feel, believe to become the luckiest person in the world. Like I've said in my previous videos, I'm sharing my personal opinion and in some cases my own experiences, but these are just my beliefs. Whether or not you align with them is, of course, totally up to you. First, let's talk about the concept of luck. Personally, I don't think I believe in it, good or bad luck. I don't tend to believe that things just happen to us, like we're these helpless pawns in the universe. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I think if something bad happens to me, I'm paying for something I did wrong. Just like if something good happens to me, I'm not necessarily being rewarded. Rather, I try to examine my own belief system to better understand why I experience certain things and choose to perceive them as positive or negative. That's how I view luck. So that brings us to the big question. How can we position ourselves to have the best luck possible? There are a few concrete things that I think lucky people do and believe. There's a bit of overlap between them, but we're going to separate them. Number one, lucky people look for things to feel lucky about. You don't have to win the lottery or experience some other life-changing event to be lucky. Luck is literally wherever you choose to find it. A few months back, my husband got sick, and then I got sick. Normally when I get a cold, it starts with a sore throat and then it moves to my sinuses and I feel miserable. Last time I got the sore throat and I thought, oh my God, here it comes. It never came. I never got congested. I just had a really sore throat for a few days and that was it. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky I didn't get congested. I was relieved. How awesome. I think in the past when I had maybe a more negative mindset, I would have just been mostly annoyed that I got sick at all. But now I'm learning to look at it as, well, I wasn't feeling so great, but oh man, it could have been worse and it wasn't. It was great. Thank goodness it was just a sore throat. I don't know anything about you except for one thing. I know that you're watching this video right now, right? So in order to be doing that, you must have a phone or a tablet or a computer that you're watching on. If you think there's nothing lucky in your life, that's one thing right there. I'm so lucky I have this device so I can watch YouTube. Actually, I lied. I know two things about you. You're alive. I'm so lucky to be alive. It might sound ridiculous, but luck really is all around you. And it's okay to start small. You can stay small, that's great, but you just need to start finding those things and grabbing onto them. Find things to feel lucky for, and you'll start to find more luck all around you. Those two things mean the same thing. Number two, lucky people view bad luck as good luck. Past relationships that ended poorly. Those things are bad, but I'm lucky for them because they taught me what I don't prefer. I learned about what types of men I should not be dating, and as a result, I will never be around those types of people again. I'm so lucky. I want to pause for a moment because I feel like this specific idea can be kind of triggering to some people. Like if someone you love dies, are you really supposed to be like, let's look on the bright side, we're so lucky? One thing I've learned about over the last few years is something called toxic positivity, which essentially refers to avoiding or suppressing or condemning negative emotions. We're still human. I think there's a balance to be struck, and I've touched on this in a previous video. I'm not telling you to never feel negative emotions. I do believe that negative feelings and finding reasons to feel lucky can coexist. Not that it's easy, I'm still working on this myself, but I believe it's possible. Number three, lucky people assume good things are coming. Whatever you say or think or believe, your brain is going to look for ways to prove it. Think of a time when you had a bad day and it just felt like it kept getting worse. It's because you're spiraling and the bad luck is snowballing. You're already primed for negativity, so you just keep finding more of it. Lucky people are the opposite. Ooh. They know that good things are coming because why wouldn't they? It's that simple. Their brains default to goodness. I've even started changing the language I'm using to stop saying things like, I hope. Hope implies that you don't know if you're going to have good luck, but fingers crossed you do. If you do that, you are projecting lack and doubt and fear, and that might end up being what you get back. And I touched on this in this video, I'll leave the link below, about how manifesting doesn't work for a lot of people, I believe, because what they're essentially doing is thinking, I don't have this thing, so I'm going to manifest it and bring it into my life. That sentiment started with, I don't have it. So that's what is going to be reflected back to you. What you want is already here, right now. You don't have to attract it. You have to align yourself with it. And that starts with knowing it's already accessible to you, acknowledging its presence, expressing thanks for it, and then eventually receiving. We are not born believing we have good or bad luck. This is a learned belief. So if you tend to default to looking for the negative, you can change this to default to looking for the positive. This should be good news for you because it means we have a lot more influence than we might realize. Some people won't like this because it makes them more responsible for the bad things that happen to them, and sometimes people don't want to accept that they have some degree of power because that would require them to change, and they'd rather continue feeling like a victim than do the work because change is hard, but it's so worth it. I've started to look at luck almost as a game. Because I know the influence that I have, I like to challenge myself to kind of manipulate my luck as much as possible. I say manipulate in a positive way in this case. Hopefully that goes without saying. And over time, I did start to naturally default to good luck and positivity. It wasn't always like that. I really had to hammer it into my own brain until it became natural. I didn't even believe myself at first when I would say things like, I'm so lucky, I have the best luck. But when I realized that, once again, feeling unlucky is learned, I told myself, just keep at it. And I kept saying and thinking it over and over again. And eventually I started to feel it and believe it. I still slip sometimes, but that's just a chance to correct course, learn from it, and move on. I'd love to know what you think, and I'd also love to hear about one lucky thing that has happened to you today. So drop me a comment so that we can celebrate together. See you next time.